Hi, you is Kate, and in this video I'll show you how I made this beautiful sweater for my husband. I will also add some photos of him wearing the sweater in the end. It started with us watching one of the Stargate movies. In one of the scenes he saw a sweater, the tweed sweater that he really liked. I chose a yarn and cone from the stock yarn store Filati Italiani. I used knitting needles 3mm and size 2.5mm. I made the first front from bottom to top, then back from bottom to top. Then I added the neck, then knitted sleeves, and then attached sleeves to the body and knitted all together. If you have similar yarn and you want to knit the same sweater for size L, you can just repeat after me. If not, you can still follow this video and calculate how many stitches you need and how many rows you need, because in this video I will tell you about every step, all the calculations that I did. You need to take measurements from whoever you need the sweater for, or you can use a sweater or a t-shirt or something that sits comfortably, and this is how you want it to sit on the person you need it for. And mostly I used most of the measurements I took them from t-shirts or from the sweater that my husband already owns, and it was this one. How many stitches do I need to cast on? How long the sweater should be? Also the length of the sleeve hole and the length of the sleeve. So from the shoulder to the wrist. The measurements that I used my husband for is the neck and from shoulder to shoulder. It's very pretty. Stay with me and I'll show you how I made this. Time to start with the front part. As calculated previously, I have 2.3 stitches in 1 centimeter. To know how many stitches I need to cast on, I use the sweater that my husband owns and the measurement tape, and I just measure half of the sweater and what is the length. Knowing that the weight should be 62 centimeters, this is the calculation that helps me to find out how many stitches do I need to cast on. It is 142.6, so it's 143, which is actually nice. I want it to be not an even number because I wanted to start and finish with purl on the rib part. And 143 plus 2, y plus 2, because I will have edges, one from one side and one from another, that I will use in the end to sew front and the back part together. So 145 stitches I need to cast on. I will use 2 sizes of a knitting needle, 2.5 and 3. 2.5 I will use for the rib part and 3 for the main part. I like using circular needles. That's why I'm gonna use circular needles. I like them because they're small and fit my hands. I know people who prefer long needles, that's fine. I prefer this type of needles, that's why I'm gonna use them. I start with needles size 2.5. I'm taking the end, and now I will measure the end that I need to have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 10. So this is 20. This is 40. 80. 120. Yeah, something like that. Casting on 145 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and up to 145. 145 loops in my knitting needle. Remove one, and I will start knitting one by one rip. One knit, one purl, and I will do that for about 6 or 7 centimeters. First one is the edge, and then purl, knit, purl, knit. Till the end of the row. First row is ready. Second row is exactly the same, where I see a knitted stitch, I knit, purl to purl. So I end up having a nice rip. I do it for about 6, maybe 7 centimeters. After making 6 centimeters of 1 by 1 rib, I'm taking needle size 3 millimeters and continue with the stocking stitch. I continue like this with the stocking stitch for 39 centimeters until the beginning of the sleeve. This is the knitted piece. Here I put markers every 34 rows. So that's 10 centimeters according to my measurements, and that is 10 centimeters. Now my piece measures, well, if you put it straight and if you take into account my calculations after washing and drying, this should be around 39-40 centimeters, which is perfect for me to start making sleeves. Now, how do I do sleeves? How do I calculate sleeves? I took a measurement of my husband from shoulder to shoulder, and it was 48 centimeters. That means that this part of the sweater, the upper part, it should be 48 centimeters. I know that I have 62 centimeters here. That means that now I have 62 and I need to have 48. So how many centimeters do I need to get rid of, and how many centimeters do I need to use to make the sleeve holes? 62 minus 48, it's 14 centimeters. So 14 centimeters I need to cast off for the sleeves. How many stitches is it? I have 2.3 stitches in 1 centimeter. That means 32.2, I rounded up to 32. So I need to cast off 32 stitches to have in the end the length of the shoulders that I need. I have two sides, so I need to do holes, sleeve holes from this side and from this side. That's why I divide 32 by 2, and it's 16. So I need to cast off 16 stitches here and 16 stitches here, because I'm gonna have two equal sleeves. Now, how do I do it? I like to use this rule where I split this number in 3 pieces, more or less equal. So 16, it would be 5, 6, and 5, let's say. It will be 16. That means that in the first row, forming my sleeve holes, I will cast off 5 stitches in one time. 1 time, 5 stitches. Then I will cast every other row. I will cast off 2 stitches 3 times. 3 times, 2 stitches. And this 5, I will cast 1 stitch off every other row 5 times. 5 times 1 stitches. 1 time I will cast off 5 stitches. Then every other row I will cast off 2 stitches from each side 3 times. And after that, every other row I will cast off 1 stitch 5 times from each side. And in the end I will have minus 16 stitches from both sides, so minus 32, and I will have the length of my shoulders, and my sleeves hole will be nice and round. First row, I'm casting off 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stitches. Then I knit till the end of the row. I knit it till the end of the row. On the other side I do the same. I cast off 5 stitches. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stitches. And I continue knitting till the end of the row. Knit it till the end of the row. Next step is casting off 2 stitches from each side. 1, 2. Knit till the end of the row. Finish the row. Now I do the same from this side. One, two. And finish the row. Then again, second time, I'm casting off. Second time from this side, I'm casting off 2 stitches. And knit till the end of the row. You can already see that we're forming nice and round hole for the sleeve. Don't mind this, there's gonna be a sleeve here and it will be on the inside. This is how it will look. This is my second decrease, 2 stitches, and I keep doing it this way according to my calculations. I already did this one time 2 stitches, and then I'll have 5 times 1 stitch. In the beginning of each row, I decrease 5, 2, now again 2, and next time it's going to be again 2, and then 1, 1, 1, 5 times. I finished my decreases, and you can see the sleeve hole looks nice and round. -5, -2, 3 times, and -1, 5 times. 16 stitches from one side, 16 stitches from other side. Now we need further. How long do I need to knit? First, let's measure the sleeve height. This is the t-shirt that looks nice and loose and sits nicely on my husband. I'm gonna measure based on this. So it's about 28 centimeters. Maybe 20. No, let's do 28. That means that from this point till the shoulder ends, I need 28 centimeters. And that's when I stop, and that's when the shoulder is done. But let's not forget about the neck. There should be some depth to neck, right? You don't want it to strangle you. You want it nice and round, and you need to have this depth. How do I calculate how many centimeters? There's this formula that I like to use. I measured the neck of my husband. It's 45 centimeters. And the formula of what is the distance should be between the beginning of the neck and the end of the neck is neck divided by 6 plus 1 centimeter. In my case, it's 45 divided by 6 plus 1 centimeter, it's 8.5, and I'll round it up to 9. $28 is how much do I need to knit further. It's 28 centimeters, right? But I need to start making the neckline 9 centimeters before I reach this 28. So what I'm gonna do now, I will keep knitting until the distance between the beginning of the sleeve hole is 19 centimeters. Then we're gonna knit again, and I will calculate the neck, and we'll start working the neck and then the sleeve. I did 19 centimeters from the beginning of the sleeve. You can see how nice and round it looks now. Now it's time to calculate and to make the neckline. This is just me marking the middle, and this is me marking the neckline. And let's talk more about the neckline and how I calculated it. This is a regular t-shirt. You can see that the distance between the shoulder and the end of the neckline is longer in the front than in the back. And that's just how it works for the piece to sit comfortably and nicely. This part should be deeper than the back part. By the way, remember my calculations about how this part should be 9 centimeters for this piece? Let's check how many centimeters here. I bet it should be around 9 centimeters. Yes. Now, how did I calculate the neckline? And how many stitches, how many rows, and everything I need to know to keep knitting and to make my neckline. I know that the neck measurement is 45 centimeters. I also measured the biggest part of the head. My yarn is woolen and it's flexible, so it should be fine, but add the measurements of the neck, it's 45. Of the biggest part of the head, 62, and then divide by 2. This is what my neckline should be. That means that in my sweater, this should be 53.5. To understand how many stitches I need to close, if it was just like this, I would just divide it by 2. But it's not like this. There's also some centimeters that are added here, right? I use formula 53 divided by 3, 17.6 centimeters I need to close on the front and on the back. This is the back, this is the front, this is 1/3, this is 1/3, and this part, the round part, it's also going to be 1/3 together. I know that I need to close right now for the neck. I need to close 17.6 centimeters. Now I'm calculating how many stitches it is. I know that at 1 centimeter I have 2.3 stitches. 17.6 2.3 times, it's 40.4. Rounded to 40. But remember, I don't have an even number here. That means that if I want it to be exactly in the middle, it needs to be either 39 or 41, and I choose 39. That means I'm closing 39 stitches for the neck. This is the amount of stitches I close. And this is my 39 stitches, with the middle stitch in the middle. This I need to close for the neckline. I know I need to cast off 39 stitches, and I have 30 rows to do it. I will not cast off every row, but every other rows. That means I have 15 every other rows to cast off the 39 stitches. Because at 39, I think 9 is a is a nice number to start with. I will close 9 stitches in the front to begin with. Then I'll have one side and other side. And I need to make it round. The same as with my sleeve. I want to do it similar. Cast off 2 stitches a few times and then 1 stitch a few times. And this third part, I just want to knit a few rows without casting off, because it's also important to make it nice and round, as you can see here. If I will cast off 2 stitches 3 times, that will be minus 6, and I will have 9 stitches to close left. And if I close 1 stitch 9 times every other row, I will have 1, 2, 3 plus 9, 12 rows of casting off. And then I will still have some room left for just knitting. That works. I think that would be nice and round. I already have my middle stitch marked, and I need to cast off 9 stitches, so it's 4 stitches before the marked stitch and 4 after. That means I keep knitting till I have 4 stitches to the marked stitch left. I have 4 stitches left to the marker, and I'm starting to cast off 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Closed 9 stitches. Now I continue knit until the end of the row. As you can guess, first I'll finish the right side and then the left side. I knitted till the end of the row, and now I will form the neckline of the right front side. I will do decreases, cast offs in the beginning of every row from the right side. Cast off 2 stitches in the beginning of the row from the right side. 1, 2. Keep knitting. Then I knit this row till the end, purl the way back, and do the same. Cast off 2 stitches in the beginning of the row from the right side, and I do it 3 times. I casted off 2 stitches 3 times in the beginning of the row every right side row. Now I must have 9 left to cast off for my neckline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, that means I calculated everything here correctly when I cast it off. I will cast off one stitch in the beginning of each row from the right side until all of this 9 stitches that I have set for my neckline are gone. I finished the creases for the neckline. This is how it looks now. Now I will knit 6 rows back and forth, and then I'm done with the right shoulder. I finished with the right side. Now you can cast off all these shoulder stitches, but I like the other way. I like to just put it aside, and then once the back side is ready, I like to close them together. That way there are less stitches, less yarn, and that's how I like it. So I'm going to do that. For this, I take a crocheting hook. This is knitting needles 3 millimeters, so I take crocheting hook 2.5. Then I need a yarn with approximately the same thickness as the yarn that I'm using, and the opposite color or any color that would stand out. I'm gonna use it. This is Drops North, I think. First, a few stitches in a chain to begin with. I like to do it this way because stitches stay in place and I don't need to worry about them getting loose. And once I need them again, I can easily pick them up on my needles and remove the extra yarn with basically one move. Now a few more. Oops. And done. My stitches are safe in place and keep their shape until I need them again. Now I will do exactly the same with the left side of the front as I did with the right side. Exactly the same decreases, but every row from the wrong side, so it would mirror what I have here. I finished with the front part. Now I'm going to make exactly the same part for the back. The only thing that's different will be the neckline. So I'll knit it exactly the same up until the neck. And I'll show you how I made the neckline on the back. My back piece is almost ready. I knitted it exactly the same as the front piece, except my neckline will start later because this is the front and this is the back. The back line should take about 2 centimeters, 3 top. So for me, 8 rows would be perfect. That's why this is 8 rows. I needed exactly everything the same up till this point except the neckline. And now I'm gonna close the neckline. I calculated the stitches that I need to have for the shoulders. It's exactly the same. And now I have here again 39 stitches that I need to close. For the back line, it's not going to be the same as for the front line like this, but it will be more like this. So I will close most of the stitches in one go and a bit more like this. And here I think I can do 3 and 1 to make it nice and round. 3 and 1, and here it will be 39 minus 3 minus 1 minus 3 minus 1. So it will be 31. First I'm going to cast off 31 in the middle. Then I will continue with one part. We'll cast off on the front row. I will cast off 3 stitches. Next front row I will cast 1 stitch, and then front and back row, and then we're done with this side. Then I will go to the left and do the same. I will not close the shoulder stitches the same as I did here, and I will leave a long end so I can close them together. I will show you how later. We'll see you after I'm done closing first 31 stitch and 3, 1, 2 rows, and the same from this side. We'll meet you there. And here I am. And now I have my 8 rows. What I can do, I can put the stitches on the yarn the same way I did it here, but I will just immediately stitch them both together. I'll show you how. Make sure that the front part faces the front part. And you stitch your shoulders together on the purl row. Now I'll take knitting needle and I will take the stitches from the shoulder, put them on a knitting needle. And it should be easy to do. See, once you find the right side of the row. I like to use yarn to save all the stitches in the right, not stretched, very nice way. Now I have here my shoulder stitches from the front part and shoulder stitches from the back part. And now I'm going to cast off them together using this yarn that I still have from knitting the back part. You can take a knitting needle and then just cast them off together. But what I like to do, I like to use a crocheting hook. For me, it's always half size smaller than the knitting needle size. So this is 3 millimeters. I'm taking 2.5, but it depends on your knit intention. I take this too, and I knit them together. It's a little bit loose, but that's okay. It's because of this one. The next one, first one, second one, And I keep doing this. First one, second one, and this is how I will close my stitches. First one, second one, grab a yarn, get it through all of them. I can show you how you can do it with knitting needle. With knitting needle, I'll just take this, then I knit them together. Hop. And that's how you can do it with knitting needle. I'm done with all my stitches. Now I just close this. And let me show you how it looks. This is how it looks from the front. And from the back. Now I will continue with this shoulder. I will do exactly the same. I will first cast off 3 stitches, then knit another row, cast off 1 stitch, knit 2 more rows, and then I will attach my 2 shoulders the same way I did this too. I'm going to cast on stitches from the neckline, and then you can already make your neckline with a rib or whatever you want. What I'm going to do, I like to have this little border, and I'll show you how I do it. I'll start with the back. I need my main yarn that I'm going to use to cast on stitches, and I need some other yarn with the opposite color, any color that I could clearly see, so I can remove it later when I don't need it. Main yarn and a marker yarn. I will use smaller size knitting needle. This one is knitted in 3 millimeters. This is 2.5. Also can be 2. I'm starting from the back, from the shoulder line. I will cast on the stitches around the neckline. Here I will cast 1 for each stitch, 1 in between, here, in between of my steps. And when it's rows, it's pretty safe for me to cast 3 stitches for 2 rows. I'm starting with having my 2 yarns, and before every cast on, I will twist them. Now I'll show you why. Now before casting on next one, I twist them. Again, twist. This is how it looks on the other side. After I'm done with this side, I can easily pick up the stitches that I casted on and remove the orange yarn. I continue like this around the neck, and I make sure that I have the same amount of stitches on this half as I have on this half, and the same from the front. I finished casting on stitches from the neckline. This is the back side. I already cut the orange yarn. I will start with placing a marker in the beginning of the row. And now I'll need, I think, 3 rows, maybe 4. In a circle. I needed 3 rows. 3 is enough. Now I will take another knitting needle and I will do the same from this side. I will pick up stitches and knit 3 rows. And this is when this orange yarn can be removed. But first, I will pick up the stitches. And it should be the same amount as here. Here I have 136, so here I also should have 136. I'll probably need to pick up the first one here. I picked up all the stitches from the orange yarn. Now I can remove orange yarn. I also made sure that I tied some knots and ensured the yarn that I have here, it's gonna be in between of this wall that I already did and this one. We're gonna hide it there. What I need to do now is I need to do 3 rows from this side as well. It's getting a little bit challenging to do it using the round needles, so I will use my sock knitting needles. I knitted 3 rows from this side, and now, yeah, it looks a bit messy, but it's going to look pretty in the end, and that's why we go through all the struggle till the end of the row. And this is what we have so far. After I finished, I have this beautiful line that will keep my neck in place. It also looks pretty. And I also used it to hide the ends of the yarn that I used to attach shoulders to each other and so on. Now after it's done, I will make my neck. I think it will be some sort of like a turtleneck, and it will be around 14 centimeters of a rib. So I will do it knit purl for about 14 centimeters. And that would be my neck. I finished with the neck. I think it turned out less than 14 centimeters. Yeah, more like 10, 11, 10 and a half. What I did, I tried it on my husband after knitting most of it, just to see how it sits. And this is what works for us for this sweater. I closed it with a needle. If you want me to tell you how to close the 1x1 rib or 2x2 rib with the needle to have the edge like this, let me know in a comment and I'll make a video. Now I have my front, back, neck, and it's time for the sleeves. I already did some calculations. If you look at the sleeve here, if I just take the sleeve from here and take it apart, this is how it would look like. So what I need to know and what I measured this distance. I measured it on my husband and also on the sweaters that he owns to find out the length that I want for the sleeve until the beginning. So from where it ends till the sleeve hole here. And it was 49 centimeters. I'm gonna knit it from the bottom up. And first I'm gonna knit it till here, and then I will start making this shape for the sleeve to lay nicely here. What I need to know to start knitting, I need to know the measurement of the hand. Not only of the hand, but again I used a hoodie and a sweater that he owns already to make sure that he will be happy how it sits on him after it's done. And the beginning is 28 centimeters. Then I measured here, same. I measured him, but I also measured the sweater that he already owns and that he likes how it feels around his body, and it would be 46 centimeters. I'm gonna start from the bottom. How many stitches do I need to cast on? I'm casting 64 plus 2 edge stitches, and I already did this with this first sleeve. I cast 66 here because 64 what I calculated, and 2 edge stitches because these edge stitches we will use them to attach the ends of the sleeve. I want to start it with the rib, 1 by 1. I decided it will be around 4 centimeters. I know that I have 64 stitches, 64 plus 2 stitches on my knitting needle where I begin with knitting the sleeve. And here, of course, it will be more than that, right? When you look at the sleeve, like this, when you open the sleeve or when you just look at the sleeve, it's always wider on the top because your arms are bigger on the top. And in my case it's 46 centimeters. I do the same that I did to calculate the amount of stitches I need to begin with, and I have 105 and 8, which I round to 106. And now I know that I'm starting with 64 plus 2 stitches, and here I need to have 106 plus 2 edges stitches. How do I do this? I will equally add stitches as I go. Now I'm calculating how many stitches do I need to add. 106 minus 64, 42 stitches. So to come from this amount to this amount of stitches, I need to have 42 stitches. But this is my sleeve, how it would look. Here, I can already show you my sleeve. So once it's ready, and once I attach the edges, you can see that it slowly goes a little bit wider, and this is what I want to do. And here I have half of the sleeve, right? And I wanted to have this effect, so I'm going to add 1 stitch from each side. So this is the sleeve, and I will add 1 stitch here, 1 stitch here, 1 stitch here, and 1 stitch here, 1 stitch here. That means that I will add 21 stitches from one side and 21 stitches from other side. So I need to do increases 21 times from both sides of the edge. I want to do it equally. And for this, I'm going to calculate how many rows will I have here. The length of this from the beginning of the sleeve till the armpit is 49 centimeters. So 45 centimeters without the rib. And now I'm calculating how many rows will I have from the beginning of the sleeve till the armpit. So this 45 centimeters by 3.4, that's how many rows I have in 1 centimeter. It will be 153 rows without the rib. 153 rows divided by 21 times. I need to do increases from both sides. It will be 728. So that means I will do increases from both sides every 7 rows. I already started making the first sleeve. The second will be exactly the same. This is my rib. Here I increase 1 stitch every 7 rows from both sides. So I just knit for 6 rows and then increase from one side and other side. Knit for 6 rows, increase from one side and other side. And I will do this until I have done it 21 times. This is my increase row first. This one is the edge stitch. Then I knit 1, and now I'm going to increase 1. What I want my stitches to go like this direction. So when I would see the sleeve, it would go like this. So my first increase turned to the left. This is how I do it. See, it's turned to the left side. Now I knit my row until I have 2 stitches in the needle left. Two stitches on the needle left. Next increase this time it goes to the right. So I pick up this thread, such a thin yarn, up. This one goes to the right. So I do this in creases every 7th row until I have 108 stitches on my needle. Then I do a few more rows, and once I have 153 rows done, I will come back to you and we'll start working on this part of the sleeve. After I finished the sleeve, starting from the wrist, and here's the armpit, I need to start closing it. For it to be pretty, the sleeve must look like this when you put it in half. This is the sleeve that I finished. This is how it looks. And if I put it like this, you can see the vision, right? After I reach this point at the sleeve, so this is the wrist and this is the armpit, this is where I start with casting off the stitches. How do I cast off the stitches? Here I like to divide stitches by 3. This is half of the sleeve, right? This. The full sleeve is like this. But 2 halves are the same. Half sleeve. I have here 54 stitches because I have 106 plus 2 edge stitches, which is 108. Half of it is 54. So once I get here, which is here with my second sleeve, I have 54 x2 stitches. This is 54. Now, I want to close 1/3 here, 1/3 here, and 1/3 here. 1/3 of this 54 stitches, approximately 1/3, I want to close in few rows. So I would have this sharp angle. Here, I want it to be not that sharp. I want it to be nice, slow, and smooth. So I do 1 stitch at a time and close another 1/3 of the stitches. And then I want it to be sharp again. So I close them in few rows. First row, I cast off 4 stitches in the beginning of each row, then 3 stitches in the beginning of each row, then 2, 2, 2, 2, then 18 times 1, and here's this part. Then again 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, and what's left. And that's how I get this sleeve. Now I will finish my second sleeve, which is exactly the same. And I will start this row by casting off 4 stitches in the beginning of each row. Then 3, 3, 2, and to make it exactly as the previous one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, then I need till the end of the row. Finishing the row. Next purl row. Again, I cast off 4 stitches because both sides of my sleeve must look the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I purl till the end. Finishing the row. So I just cast off 4 from both sides. Next one is 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I knit till the end of the row, cast off 3 from the other side, and go further. You can see it here. Here it was 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 4 times, then 18 times 1, then 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, and what's left. And that's how I do sleeves. Once I'm done with the sleeve, I will come back to you and show you how I attach all the pieces together. When both of my sleeves are ready, it's time for attaching the pieces. I already attached one side. First I will attach the sleeve, and then I will sew this side together, and I will show you how to do it. You do both sides equally and the same. This is where I want to attach my sleeve. I want to do it equally, so first I will use my markers. These are first 2 stitches, 1 stitch of the body and 1 of the sleeve. They should go together, they should meet. Same goes for the other side. And then I also know that this is the middle. This is where my 2 shoulders meet, so this is the middle from the other side. And the middle in the sleeve would be in between, in the middle of this 10 last stitches that I closed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess this is middle. Now after I have precise 3 points, I can find approximate middle here. And here. So this is approximately And now I'll do the same from this side. Now I'm going to attach the sleeve to the body. These points where they should be connected for sure. Same goes for this and this. And here I will see how it goes. Let's say I'm gonna start closing here, and then if I would see that it's way off, then I will know that something is wrong. But I know that approximately here they should also be attached to each other. Now, make sure that front, back of the sleeve and front and back that they align. Now I will start attaching the sleeve to the body. I will do it with the needle, special needle that you can buy from the knitting store or order online. So it's bigger, it's not sharp. I will use the same yarn that I used for knitting, of course. Some long piece of yarn. I will do it from the front of the face side. First, you see this is the edge stitch. This is where I want to fix my yarn. From this side is the same. We'll do it here. This is the edge stitch, and this is the edge stitch. What I will do, I will go through one and come out from the other. Now the same from the other side. Go in one, come out from the other side. Keep going like this. Let me show you the other sleeve that I already did. This is how it looks. And if you have some little imperfections, don't worry. After blocking, it will look a little bit different. This is how it looks in the back. I continue like this till the end of the sleeve. And once it's done, I will attach the sides of the sleeves and the body. And sides of the sleeves and body are much easier because then you just need to do stitch and stitch. But with the sleeve, it's a bit of playing around. The sleeve is ready. Now I'm going to sew together the sides of the sleeve and the sides of the body. I will start from the beginning of the sleeve and then all the way down the body in one go. I will do it pretty much the same way I did the sleeves, except this time it will be easier. I will start using yarn end from the sleeve, and I will start by first attaching ends. Now, after two ends are attached, I will do exactly the same as I did before with the sleeve. I will find my edge stitch here, here, here. This is my edge stitches rows. And I will do exactly the same from the other side. On the sleeve it was a bit more challenging because they are not equal. Here you see it's vertical and here it's more like diagonal, but here we just have exactly the same end stitch as on this side, and we have it through all the sleeve until the end of the body. So all I need to do is just use the stitching method. See, it goes much easier. I keep doing this till the armpit and then down to through the side of the body. And I don't know if you can see, but it's very easy to see where the side of the stitch is. And I keep going like this until I'm done. After the stitch is done, I already did the other side. Hello, Marla. I already did another side. It's already ready. This is how it looks like. So I only have this side left. And after it's done, I will wave all my ends. And then I will block the sweater. After all the parts are kneaded and attached to each other, I block it, put it in the warm water, dry it with the towels and lay it flat. I don't have a special mat, I just use my table and towels. Once it's dry, it's ready. You can also see that once it's dry, all the stitches and all this places, they look better, more smooth. My husband really loves this sweater. Here are some photos of him wearing it. And thank you for watching.